So, Yakuza 7 is coming out and it's generally a good time for all little boys and girls. So what does SEGA do to celebrate? Slaps up a free game called Streets of Kamurocho right on the Steam store. Now let me tell you, it may not have the Yakuza name on it, but it's got a lot of Yakuza in it. Mostly you beating each other up horribly. Just gonna be honest. So, the big burning question, what the heck is Streets of Kamurocho? Streets of Kamurocho is a side-scrolling action game in classic beat-em-up style. You got one button for attack, another for special, and one for jumping. Combine this with the D-pad for movement and it's basically all you're working with. The objective of the game is to violence, I think? Well, the objective is violence, and success is measured in not dying in a pool of your own blood on the hard-paved streets of Kamurocho, having been shanked in the liver by a crimester.
I'll fuck you up, bro.
There are 3 playable characters, but they're all identical gameplay-wise, so it's really just a choice of costume. So in the beginning, you get a choice between Majima and Kiryu, with the protagonist of Yakuza 7, Ichiban, being unlocked after beating the final boss. So I go ahead and pick everyone's favorite idol, Majima-chan, and whoa, wait a minute, who the heck is this ape? Brow looking like a fucking floating shelf over here? Does this look like the mad dog of Shimano to you? Bright-eyed delight that is Majima? No. Why'd they make him such a Neanderthal? I don't understand. Look, his profile picture captures his crazy personality just fine, but then you play the game and he looks like a constipated gorilla. Kiryu looks just fine, but then again, that guy's always got an expression like he just ate a sour candy and was heavily disappointed by it, so maybe that doesn't count.
Oh, what is that? No!
I will say though, at least they had the decency to keep Majima's eye patch consistent across both directional sprites, so good on you, gold star. Attacking does what you'd expect, performing a short 4-part combo ending in a knockdown, but specials are a bit special. You see what I did there? Performing neutral special will do a whooshy, swirly, punchy donut bonanza! Hitting the enemies around you for, well, honestly, very modest damage. And side special will do Maximum Overrush Ultra Combo Brigade Strike Sunlight Overdrive EX and Knuckles! Which does, yeah, it's decent damage to a single target. Here's the rub about those though, they both expend health. Let me just say that again. Both specials expend health. Like, yes, let me hurt myself for an attack that does middling damage. Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted for Christmas.
Kiryu-chan. Majima no Nisa.
What is he, breaking his fingers every time he punches? You got a back problem you can't tell us about? It's alright, we understand. You've hit a lot of people with a baseball bat. You're not even invincible during it, and a single target special is made redundant considering, and here's the secret surprise, everything in the game gets stun locked by 3 punches repeated. Oh, what, you don't believe me? I'm serious, so long as you don't finish your combo, the enemies cannot move, and it's hilarious. The best singular move in the game by far, though, is the uppercut, performed by double tapping left or right, then pressing attack. Not only does it do massive damage at a decent range, but you can confirm into it off of any hit of your standard combo, and the big bonus, it doesn't kill you when you use it. So that's pretty nice. Don't get me wrong, stun locking is technically the highest damage combo you can perform since the combo never actually has to end, but the uppercut still has its niche uses. Also, you can't jump diagonally, you can't jump diagonally, you can't jump diagonally. What do you want to jump diagonally? You better fucking file a report, Buster Brown. You ain't got the license for that! There's also a charge attack you can do by holding down the attack button for some unknown amount of time and releasing it, knocking the opponent down with a kick. But it's not really that useful since it takes time to set up. It also doesn't really do more damage than the standard 3-hit combo into uppercut, which is safer to perform anyways, so it's a useless move. So, none of these moves are actually communicated to you in any way. There's no combo list, there's nothing, and that's kind of an interesting situation. I can't tell if they're doing something rad by putting confidence in the player to be able to discover the game's mechanics for themselves organically, letting them have the feeling of figuring out the quirks of the combat themselves instead of being told, or if they just didn't make a combo list because the game was made on the cheap. Yeah, I can honestly see things going either way on that one. So, you start the game under yon titular archways on the outskirts of Kamurocho and are greeted with your first threats of the game. Your first threats, give him some time, he'll threaten you a little bit. Ay vey. Alright, so the AI starts out a little concussed, debating on how to approach you the way a schoolboy debates on how to approach his crush, but they eventually get the picture as the rounds go higher and higher. Aw jeez, look how proud he is, the little piece of shit!
Perfect.
Don't kill him! I suppose the fact that they're poorly animated makes up for the lack of challenge. The animation department didn't really have the budget for things like telegraphs and keyframes, because the name of the game for basically every enemy is one frame neutral, one frame attacking. 1 frame neutral, 1 frame attack. 1 frame neutral, 1 frame attack. Then there's this big koala over here who lavishes us with generosity by giving us a whole 1 frame of, I'm not exactly sure if I want to take a massive dumpski right here in front of you or not. I'm kinda shy about it. But then again, I really gotta unload my eucalyptusy shits. Before he launches his sliding kick. A slide kick, which, by the way, has anti-aerial properties. Figure that one out, Einstein, you fucking nerdy poser. Nobel Peace Prize, more like Nobel Least Prize. Am I right? High five. Pressing A plus X together makes the character do a little dance move, which I'm pretty sure is meant to be a backhand strike, blasting anyone behind them away like they just stepped into a wind tunnel.
Stop it! Leave me alone! Fuck off!
This would be a great way to cover both sides of yourself mid-combo, and it's ridiculously satisfying to pull off, watching Yakuza tumble away from you like snow down a mountain.
Kiryu-chan!
But the move is laggy enough that enemies in front of you can take a free potshot at you if they want to. Unfortunately, this removes any aspect of relevant decision making when using it, and turns it into a coin toss of, do I want this guy to hit me, or that guy? One easy way to fix this is by making the moves in actionable frames less than the amount of time it takes for the enemies in front of you to recover from hit stun and complete an attack, but I think that's a little boring and would probably be pretty overpowered in terms of canceling higher commitment moves. Yeah, but what the heck do I know? A single punch is enough to subjugate even the squirreliest of enemies, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad. A more interesting way to fix it, I think, is to make it so that a normal attack can be cancelled into the backhand. This would make it so that the way to guarantee a safe exchange would be to hit the enemy in front, putting them into hit stun, and then cancel that attack into the backhand, so that the bitch slap would complete while the original enemy was still recovering from hit stun. This would also create a small opportunity for skill-based gameplay, since the rewards for the technique would be proportional to how closely the player cancelled the attack to the frame it deals damage. Too late, you don't save enough time to keep you safe, but too soon, and the cancel doesn't go through. I don't know, listen, maybe I'm crazy, but those kind of technical cancels are always fun for me when it comes to action games. By the by, I should mention that you can technically combo the first 3 hits of your standard attack into a pivot backhand for hella style and flashiness, but the damage is literal garbage, so unfortunately it's all flair and no efficacy. Still looks great though. While holding a weapon, A plus X will also yeet the weapon forward, toppling anyone who expected gravity to actually work on airborne objects. I can't deny that this and the backhand are pretty satisfying to do, but A plus X, you could make it that way, you could do that, but why? Why would you do that? I mean, you got all kinds of buttons on their controller. Like,
This button. There's a button right there. Oh, there's a nice looking button that you could use. Oh yeah, that's a good button. And there's this fucking thing. I don't know what the fuck it does.
The problem with tying the action to A plus X is that way too frequently the character will jump instead, or attack, or just fail to do the move altogether. For me, it made the move much more unreliable than it needed to be, and I really disliked using it. Limiting actions to just 3 face buttons and the D-pad isn't exactly the best use of button economy for the game. Especially if you're on keyboard, I mean, just look at all those fucking buttons. It's even got the fancy extra buttons all around here. God knows what they do, and don't even fucking get me started on those buttons with the numbers. It is goddamn witchcraft. Honestly, the 2 buttons for specials might as well not exist since the specials just suck so bad, so I guess it's functionally 2 face buttons and the D-pad. Speaking of weapons, there are 2 types in the game, small and large. The small are always knives, but the large weapons can change appearance for each character. Majima gets a metal baseball bat, Kiryu gets a big ol' honkin' traffic cone, and Ichiban gets a wooden 2x4. It's probably the least interesting of the 3, but give him a break, he's trying his best. They all function identically, smacking enemies at range with a meaty, but I appreciate the little touches to design to fit each of their characters. Now, when you see a weapon lying on the ground, what would you expect to think? Hey, what a nice little help this will be. No! Those things are landmines, a danger to normal society, and a menace to our children. If you're standing on or in the postal code of 1 and you press the attack button, you'll stop in your tracks to pick it up. You don't have to press down an attack to pick it up, just any attack button, and it's in your hands. Then you take big old punches to the face, and that's never fun. Whenever the field gets littered with these things, I get anxiety. Agita. My ulcers start acting up. Oiga volt and my back pain, forget about it. While the large weapons are definitely useful for dealing damage and giving you extra reach, the small ones aren't even better than your fists. While they do more damage per hit, they also knock the enemy away after a single strike, ending your combo. Your fists are honestly much better in terms of both DPS and locking enemies down, so I always try and toss the knives away just so I don't accidentally pick one up. They're liabilities. Don't touch them. Don't even breathe. Not even once. You touch a knife, you end up in jail with a man named Mo who sells you cigarettes for porn. It'll happen to you. It happened to me. Like, here I am moving up to engage with the enemy, but then I realize that we're about to meet with me over a dagger, meaning I can't attack him, so I just gotta wait for him to leave. The weapons are more hazards than bonuses. You can pick up and throw enemies in this game, just like in Yakuza, but it honestly just kinda happens? There isn't any throw button, again, a missed opportunity for better button mapping. You just kinda walk into the enemy and the throw will happen sometimes, even if you don't press anything. You can actually pull off all kinds of rad-looking throws depending on the direction you press after grabbing an enemy, flipping over them or tossing them into their friends, but sometimes the enemy will grab you instead. Look, I'm gonna be honest, I've tested this a bunch of times, and I can confidently say that I have absolutely no idea what determines whether you get grabbed or you do the grabbing. I'm not even certain what makes the throw happen, because sometimes you walk into an enemy and no throw will happen at all. Sometimes I'll be punching a dude, but oops, I got too close and now we're going in for a romantic kiss. Throws are really cool looking, and they can be great for crowd control, but I've honestly never performed a throw without being surprised that I was throwing. This is a problem since you can get hit during grabs, which, when it just happens randomly, it often turns a safe attack into an unsafe one. The game has you going through 2 levels and 3 bosses. First, you navigate the streets of Kamurocho to... I think this is supposed to be the bar Bacchus? Anyway, you fight the assassin Lau Kao Long outside the bar, clearly just trying to get his drink on, and he proceeds to teleport using the power of pure jank every time he attacks. He's pretty wily, but he can still be trivialized with the patented triple punch method. You've heard of One Punch Man, now this is a 3-punch man. Why did I write a joke like that? It's so stupid. Why do I do this? You then mosey into the bar, which is that's a bit larger than I remember it, and beat up some more dudes. It's probably time to talk about the types of enemies you'll face in this game. You got the punks, which go down in one combo and generally only exist to tickle you against your will, the Yakuza, who take more hits and can punch, and these big boys, who can only grab you and do the aforementioned leg slide. All of which can be stun locked in your mighty fist tornado, by the way, just in case you're wondering. Anyway, you get to the end of the bar and find, Dr. Claw? Bartending, and you fight... Wait, what is this? Koji Shindo? Wait, who is that? I don't remember this guy. Oh, this butthole! I have absolutely no recollection of what he was about narrative-wise, but I do know that his fight in Yakuza Kiwami sucked. Then you go out to the back door and fight the final boss. No level afterwards, just boss fight. Yeah, you can finish this game in just a few minutes, but, I mean, who can complain? The game's free after all. What did I expect? A 40-hour campaign complete with water park and sauna scenes?
Teach me about bazongas!
Anyway, Dr. Claw rips off his shirt and... Oh, that's Nishikiyama. Oh, okay, no, I see that now. I get it. Anyway, this final fight with Nishiki is not great. First off, he's the one being in this game that can't be stun locked, already making him functionally akin to a god. He's way faster than you, can walk out of a combo after you've already hit him in it, he blocks randomly, his grabs and attacks solidly outrange yours, and to top it all off, he's kind of a dick. What'd you shoot Kazuma for, Nishiki? Maybe you shouldn't have killed your love interest, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a Yakuza. On higher difficulties, his ads will constantly swarm your back, and with the backhand not being a reliable way of avoiding damage, this fight gets real unfun real quick. It's really reminiscent of arcade-era quarter-munching design. There is one redeeming fact though, Nishiki just so happens to not know how to deal with uppercuts. So just use those, all the time, constantly, and he will die. He melts like butter on hot pavement. And that's it. That's that. After that, the game resets back to the starting point, keeping your score but resetting your health and lives counter. The enemies seem to get more powerful in rounds 2 and 3, and more ads show up for boss encounters, but after round 3, you've basically beaten the game. I've gotten to round 10, but since every round is basically the same, and your lives get reset anyway, if you've hit round 3, you've technically hit round 99, or any round. You just win. You just win the game, that's what I'm trying to say. So, there is actually multiplayer, and by golly, what kind of person would I be if I didn't give it a try? The multiplayer is only local, however, so you'll have to deal with Steam's Remote Play Together feature. I got my sister in a voice call with me, and we quickly figured out that you can actually damage each other while playing co-op. Yeah, see? Like that. You have separate health bars, separate points, and even separate lives as well, so is this actually co-op or competitive? Is it both? I don't know. It's a bit of a philosophical question. All I do know is that it makes playing the game a lot harder. And you can do this to each other. Ah! Help! That's me. Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Kiryu Kiryu Kazuma.
And there you go, that's Streets of Kamurocho in its entirety. I know I criticize this game for a lot, but I have to say, for a free game, this has got a lot more to it than I ever would have expected. It's certainly quite a bit more involved than 8-bit Bayonetta. In Streets of Canned Nachos, things work, look, and play a lot better than I'd have imagined, and even though it's only got about 50 minutes of content, I ended up playing it for 6 hours? It's interesting, though, how much this game inadvertently ended up as a teeny little microcosm of the mainline Yakuza game's combat design. Somewhat jank enemy telegraphs, interesting or technical ideas which ultimately get invalidated, and a combat system which is easily broken by the repetition of a simple action. I mean, in that sense, the overall feel of Streets of Camcorder is actually a lot more Yakuza than I would have guessed, even if not in the ways they originally intended. I also have to commend SEGA for a relatively novel advertising method. Instead of spending tons of money running ads that probably nobody watches anyway because they have ad block, they fund a quirky little game like 8-bit Bayonetta or Streets of Kamurocho and let the players get invested in the video game world and characters the way players naturally do, by playing. That being said, listen, SEGA, come here. Just between you and me, I think it's time we give the people what they really need. And that's a dating sim featuring Majima and only Majima. Hot Majima on Majima action! 1 billion copies sold! $1 million made! Hello, and thank you so much for watching. This thing took a long-ass time to finish. So long, in fact, that the opening bit was talking about how Yakuza 7 isn't out yet, when in fact that game has been out for a long... That's super out. It's out there. Anyway, if you liked this video, it would mean a lot to me if you could spread it around to the people you know. Friends, family, pets, heck, just slip it into somebody's DMs with just the link and the line, "Your time is up, you fiendish, crust-baked, hornswaggling Faust of a foe!" And just see how they react. Anyway, if you want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe, as I've got more projects just like this in the pipeline. Have the best day you possibly can, and stay moist, my friends.
I'll just wait here, I guess.
Yep. I win. Are you proud of me?
No.